What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nikki. I'm back with another video. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. So happy you're here. If you're not new, welcome back. So happy to have you. If you're following me on my other social medias, you may have seen that I posted about my surgery and I've been chronicling my daily recovery. I recorded some videos for y'all before I went into surgery. So that's what this is. I wanted to make sure I still had content to post for y'all in the event that I needed to take a couple of days off to recover. But I will be documenting my recovery journey. So if you're not following me on my social medias, go follow me on Instagram and on Facebook at The Rolling Butterfly, same as my YouTube channel name. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help get your girl to 1,000 subscribers. And comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I love chatting with y'all. Thank you so much for all y'all support and well wishes for a speedy recovery and on my surgery, and those of y'all who reached out about my last video where I talked about how much of a disaster my pre-op appointment was. It was one of those situations where I just needed to get it out and just share some things that were on my mind. I'm doing good now, so no worries, but thank you all so much for your support. Thank you. So this video today is going to be a little bit of a reflection and just some thoughts I had about being disabled during the COVID-19 pandemic, and what are some things that I learned and things that I'm thinking about as we go into a post-COVID-19 pandemic world. So for those of you who may not know, who may have not watched my previous videos, I am from New York City, and I'm currently in New York City, and New York City was one of the epicenters for COVID-19. And I won't get into what I do for work. I probably will get into that more specifically in another video. But thankfully, for the COVID-19 pandemic, I was able to work remotely as a health educator. I was able to be employed, so I am forever grateful to God and for the opportunity to be able to be employed in a time when so many people were unemployed, had financial difficulties during this year. I'm just so grateful that I was able to be employed. But with that said, I had some thoughts that I wanted to bring up to you all. I'd love to hear what you think, or just to engage in a dialogue and just talk. But so COVID-19 is still here, still very much here, and I think it'll be here for a while. Things are, depending on where you are in the country, things are getting back to some sort of normal. I don't think that things will be able to go back to the way they were before COVID-19, and but we are starting to figure out ways to get back to a normal life, be able to see loved ones and friends and do things safely. But I was also thinking about what some of the things that I've learned being a disabled person in COVID-19, and what I found interesting. So as the world starts to go back to work, like on site, not remote work, I'm noticing a lot that the option for remote work is no longer there. And historically, disabled folks have been isolated from the workforce due to discrimination, due to lack of job availability, and because I think that there's this misconception that disabled folks can't be productive members of society and are thus oftentimes looked over for jobs and often have to rely on fixed government income. And of course, that's not for everyone, but that is what a lot of disabled folks in this country face. And so, there's always been pushback when it comes to, considering the option of remote work for disabled individuals. Like, remote work would be too hard, or remote work isn't an option, or it's not a possibility. And as we've seen with COVID-19 and the pandemic, when the entire world, and mainly I'm talking about able-bodied folks, when accommodations needed to be made for able-bodied folks to work from home, to continue their responsibilities, to continue their jobs, the world bent over backwards to make sure that the able-bodied world could work from home. Be that supplies like computers and headsets and all things, things were utilized like Zoom and Teams and Jabber and Microsoft and phone conversations and things like that. In a matter of weeks, this whole system of remote work was created. And if COVID-19 taught us anything, it taught us that remote work is possible. And, employees and individuals can complete their jobs and meet objectives and reach goals remotely. And they don't necessarily have to do it in a work environment, and can still be successful. And it saddens me when I see that as things with the COVID-19 pandemic slow down and people begin to return to the workforce, that the option for remote work is no longer there as much, if at all, for a lot of positions. And I understand that there are some positions where remote work is not an option, where face-to-face or client-facing work is paramount to the role in the job, and I understand that. But I think there are some positions like health education and teaching and case management, and just to name a few. There's so much more that I'm not even mentioning here or thinking about at the moment. But there are so many jobs that can be done remotely or hybrid, where a person can work from home either 100% of the time or 50 or 75%. There are positions where individualized plans can be made so that disabled folks can be a part of the workforce. And with it being Disability Awareness Month this month in July, I just wanted to bring up these things and just start a dialogue and start talking about them, and talk about how the disabled population, with particular in the workforce, has been forgotten or looked over, or often aren't considered productive members of society. And when the able-bodied world needed accommodations or needed certain things, there was no such thing as an undue hardship. The world bent over backwards to make sure it was a possibility. And I'm curious to see if overall changes are going to be made with the option for remote work and job, and if more disabled folks or individuals with disabilities will be afforded the opportunity to work and generate income and be productive members of society from the able-bodied perspective. So those are my thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you think about it down in the comments. Let's chat. Thank you so much for listening, and happy Disability Pride Month.
Your next stop is